We have a problem. Bush's margin of victory is only within 327 votes.
All right, I'll call the Supreme Court, let them know. Supreme Court, you have a problem. Bush's margin of victory is only within 327 votes.
The court has authorized the following statement. By a vote of 4-3, the majority of the court has reversed the decision of the trial court in part. It has further ordered that the Circuit Court of the Second Judicial Circuit here in Tallahassee shall immediately begin a manual recount of the approximately 9,000 Miami-Dade ballots that registered under votes. In addition, the Circuit Court shall enter orders ensuring the inclusion of the additional 215 legal votes for Vice President Gore in Palm Beach County and the 168 additional legal votes from Miami-Dade County. In addition, the Circuit Court shall order a manual recount of all undervotes in any Florida county where such a recount has not yet occurred. Because time is of the essence, the recount shall commence immediately. In tabulating what constitutes a legal vote, the standard to be used is the one provided by the legislature. A vote shall be counted where there is a clear indication of the intent of the voter.
All right, I'm on it, Chief.
Hold on. Okay. Bush is taking our manual recount to the Supreme Court. We can't do it.
And the election results. I am disappointed with last night's ruling by the Florida Supreme Court. We believe the justices have used the bench to change Florida's election laws and usurp the authority of Florida's election officials. We believe the court overreached. Writing laws is the duty of the legislature. Administering laws is the duty of the executive branch. 2 weeks after the presidential election, a court has decided that Florida's deadline for counting votes and certifying votes was not a deadline at all. The court has decided that the selective recounting of votes that have already been counted at least 2 times, and in some cases 3 or 4 times, will continue more than a week after the law says it should. And the court has ordered that the Secretary of State must accept all this. The court had cloaked its ruling in legalistic language, but make no mistake, the court rewrote the law. It changed the rules, and it did so after the election was over. Manual recounts will continue in 3 selective counties with no uniform standards, no clear direction, and therefore no fair or accurate result. Even as recently as this morning, the rules changed in 1 of the 3 counties, and Democrats are trying to change the rules in another. The effect of the court's opinion will be that voters' votes are being evaluated differently in different parts of Florida. Some votes that were cast legitimately may be offset by votes that were not. Voters who cast their ballots in accordance with the rules, in accordance with law, have rights. And voters who choose not to cast a vote for president have that right. And no one else has the right to make their choice for them. Voters who clearly punched preferences in other races on the ballot but did not do so in the presidential race should not have their vote interpreted by local officials in a process that invites human error and mischief. All Americans want a fair and accurate count of the votes in Florida. And I believe if there is a fair and accurate count of the votes in Florida, we will prevail. I believe Secretary Cheney and I won the vote in Florida. I believe some are determined to keep counting in an effort to change the legitimate result. It is important that votes are counted accurately. And it's equally important that votes be counted fairly and in a process that is seen to be fair.
The Supreme Court has come to the ruling that the Florida Supreme Court violated Article 2 of the Constitution by making new election law, and that non-standard ballot recounts violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment.
Hi, Mr. Jagdish Chadha. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Mr. Todd, we've been expecting you. I see you overstayed your student visa. What is your reasoning behind that?
Well, sir, if I go back to my home country, I'll be subject to cruel punishment. May I get an extension of my visa?
Yeah, we can approve that. You're good to go.
Thank you.
I see that Mr. Chadha has applied for an extension for his visa. However, I see no probable cause as to why he should get one, and therefore veto it and demand he be deported. Now. Hey, Mr. Chadha, time to go.
No! I don't understand! I applied for a visa! I don't understand what's happening! I cannot legally be deported because the House of Representatives' veto on my extension overrules the President's power, therefore making it unconstitutional.
Well, I guess we can go to the Supreme Court about this.
The Supreme Court ruling is that efficiency is not a reason for bypassing the procedures outlined in the Constitution. The typical one-house legislative veto is unconstitutional because it violates both the President's veto power and the bicameral structure of Congress.
Yeah, I don't agree with some of these provisions of the Federal Election Campaign Act.
Yeah, me either. Let's take them to the Supreme Court based on their unconstitutionality.
Sounds good.
So what provisions do Buckley and other federal office holders find unconstitutional?
In the case of Buckley versus Vallejo, the Supreme Court rules
This Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act, which bans unrestricted donation and regulates political advertising, violates First Amendment rights.
The Supreme Court rules in favor of the Federal Elections Committee and upholds the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act. The BCRA is well within its authority to regulate elections according to the Constitution. Our ruling puts limits on political campaign financing and puts in place specific regulations to prevent the corruption of the campaign process.